I joined my current school just this September, and it's a fairly traditional, though pleasingly inclusive, I think, independently minded private school with a male-dominated leadership team. And Sian, if we go to that first slide, here is a lovely smiley selection of the leaders. It's not the whole lot. Includes the head teacher, John Green, up at the top there, the deputy head, Will Yates, other senior leaders. It's not the full team. The SMT is definitely male dominated. Now, my previous schools have been quite female dominated in terms of leadership. So imagine my surprise. I mean, this is the crazy thing. This is where me being here sort of started, because I blurted it out to everybody. In my first couple of weeks, the Monday morning staff briefing included those lines that you see just there. John Green, head teacher, saying, oh, another busy week ahead. It's the first staff wellbeing session on the menopause Tuesday evening. You know, please do go along if that's relevant for you. Oh my God. Oh my, what just got said? I mean, I say surprised, shocked, nearly fell off my chair. The word menopause got said by the head teacher in a staff briefing, by the male head teacher in a staff briefing. It is not my experience in school. You know, at 49, I've worked in a variety of organisations. I came into teaching in my mid-30s. It's the very first time I have heard the word menopause being said out loud by anybody in management, in a professional context. And it was lovely. It was absolutely lovely. Now, I'm sure John wouldn't mind me saying he did stumble over it a little bit, to be fair. But given the ridiculous taboo that this subject has, you know, who can blame him? You know, this topic is called being led well in this stage of life. And I would really love any comments just getting put into the chat already about, you know, what would you say is useful in an education setting for a woman to feel, at any age, to feel I'm led well in this stage in terms of the menopause, either knowing about it in advance, being supported through it, etc., etc. So anyway, so that was my, you know, one of my first staff briefings. Brand new, shiny member of staff. Pleased it's on the calendar. I sign up enthusiastically to that Tuesday evening event that he said mentioned. And the lady in the red jacket who's pictured there, Lara Stitz, she is one of the senior managers in school and has become, you know, is happy to be known as menopause champion. And it's something that these events is what the first things that she put in place. Next slide. We had 2 Twilight events, and they were both last term. One was one of those eye-opening, jaw-dropping information sessions by a GP, a little like we had earlier from Olivia. And it did leave us reeling and saying to each other, you know, how did we not know this? There were women in their mid-50s there saying, how did I not know this about my own body? The other event that got put on was a much lighter, fun social with Annabelle Giardella from this skincare company. It's her own consultancy. And she shared skincare advice. There were really practical tips on managing, you know, the external appearance of when you know you're going to be going through hot flashes. She led a discussion with lots of warnings about supplements and various therapies and the enormous amount of money you can end up spending, and lifestyle changes that may or may not help us to manage our symptoms. And they were just, you know, the 2, as I said, 2 Twilight events. And I went away from both of those feeling thrilled with my new school. I was kind of, you know, driving away, just almost singing to myself, feeling so positive as a member of staff. Subsequently trying not, you know, I'll probably fail, but trying not to brag to friends at other schools that had the best job ever in the best school ever. You know, I'm talking about being led well. Well, isn't that, as a senior leader, isn't that what you want your staff to be saying? And, you know, that was just inspired by having had those events laid on. You know, I was buzzing. They could have asked me anything that week. I'd have said, yes, I'll do an after school club every single day of the week. Of course I will. And, that was a very small bit of budget that those events took. And of course, there are pros and cons. As an extrovert, I loved it. We're not all social lovers, and I get that, absolutely. It's not going to suit everybody. But both speakers were very inspiring and experts in their field. So I felt valued in that. I was being given something as a member of staff that was of good value. Of course, it opened up conversations in the staff room, not least because, it's a very simple thing to say, isn't it, while you're making your coffee? Oh, you see the poster on the wall, are you going to that event later next week? It's a very low key, non-threatening way. We're all feeling our way into these conversations too. You still do get the slight kind of, back off, somebody's talking about menopause, if you just say it out loud. And an event like that just helped it be fairly normalized, that word that keeps coming up. We also got given a really great little goodie bag. With a big box, a bottle of menopause supplements, so that we could try them, without having to spend our own money, which was great. So I felt really looked after. I felt supported. I felt empowered by that situation.